all 9 of them, Damian, was against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Week 11.
A Week 11 win against the Cincinnati Bengals is the best win the Chargers have had this season.
And arguably, this is probably one of the, we could say, worst Bengals team that we've had in the recent years.
It is. That's a bad football team. The Bengals are a bad football team that is being lifted and propped up by an offense that can score with the best of them. That is a horrendous football team that is put together very makeshift. That defense, all of those parts do not align. Really good defensive coordinator, doesn't have the personnel this year. And even on offense, they are a little, I don't want to call it one-dimensional because the pass game is elite. It works.
Tough
but
to
that's
stop.
all they got.
They're tough to
It's
stop.
tough to stop. But again, all you got to do is get 1 or 2 stops on them, and you're going to outscore the Bengals. That's a bad football team, and they did get a 34-27 win. Well, look at that, 34-27, just like the Broncos win over the Bengals. That was a Sunday night football game. That was when the hype train really started for them. That's their best win against a losing team. The Bengals, who need everything to work out in their favor to get into the playoffs. Well, let's look at some of the losses they've had this year because they only have 6. So it must have, so they played the Steelers, an AFC contender.
Week 3.
Week 3, 20-10. Got that ass whooped. Next week, they play the Chiefs. That's the game where Rasheed Rice went out, Mahomes, and threw the interception.
At home.
Kelsey.
At home.
This was at SoFi Stadium. The Chiefs get them by a touchdown. The Chargers get a win over the Broncos. This is the first time sweeping the Broncos since 2010. So, again, this is not a knock to Los Angeles. This is just a reality check to those that are getting caught up in the hype. That's good to get 2 wins over a divisional foe. That's good to pick up wins against bad teams as well. We're talking about them winning playoff games now, though. Another one of their losses, Monday Night Football, that horrendous game they had against the Cardinals, 17-15 Arizona. Damian, that game was terrible. I don't know if you remember that at all. That game was hard to watch.
Yeah.
And they lost
it. Even the game against the Bucks, that was a game where they were at home. They're sitting pretty. You thought this was the game where the Chargers show up.
Show me something.
The Bucks put up 40 on them.
Molly-whopped. You get molly-whopped by the Buccaneers and Mike T and everybody else that's hopping on the Chargers bandwagon right now. We're gonna open up the phone lines because I want to hear from you if you think this is a real contender, because I think they're the biggest pretender in the NFL. Maybe you think there's a bigger one. We'll open up the phone lines here soon, but first and foremost, that Buccaneers game just happened.
Yeah.
It just happened, Damien. Like, we're not talking about a game that happened four or 5 weeks ago. No, this team literally 5 days ago.
And we're talking about a Bucs team who Baker Mayfield was banged up going in. He's still banged up. They got Evans back, but it's a team that, they're kind of just playing spoiler at the moment, the Bucs. I know they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they'll likely make the playoffs because the Falcons are so bad. And again, their best win of the season for the Chargers is the Bengals win. Their next best win is the Falcons win. They beat the Atlanta Falcons, who Kirk Cousins did everything in his right to give that game away to the Chargers, so much so that Kirk ain't got a job no more.
Yeah.
Kirk is on the bench, and it started with that game against L.A. And again, Kirk threw not 1, not 2, 4 interceptions and a pick 6 in there against the Chargers and this prolific team that you say contenders are afraid of. Oh, let's see how they did. Oh, they won 17-13.
Not enough.
The Chargers' offense is mediocre. Their defense is bad, but they have elite coaching. They have a quarterback that has all the tools in the world, so they're able to beat bad teams. But when they get into a match against a real fortified squad that didn't just, turn over their roster over the offseason, again, this is not an indictment on the Chargers. They flipped a lot of pivotal pieces this offseason. Jim Harbaugh had to go set the table, set a culture there. There's a lot of dead cap money on that roster that's not being spent on talent. But when they have to face a real team that has had this thing built up like the Ravens, like the Chiefs, like the Bills, you're not going to stand a chance. And I would dare say even the Texans have the upper hand on the Chargers. They're not winning a single playoff game, let alone will they be standing in the AFC Championship. Complete crap. But we'll see. Who is the biggest pretender to you in the NFL? To me, it's clearly the Los Angeles Chargers, and y'all are getting caught up in the hype for no apparent reason. There's no facts to state why Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh and that rushing attack that is now depleted. You're relying on Gus Edwards in the playoffs. Like, come on. That's not a real threat. There's no reason why you should be believing that's the team that can win against real contenders in the AFC. But who's the biggest pretender to you in the NFL today? 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. Hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline. Hit us up. Let me know because, again, this is a huge football weekend. We got some real big things to get to, not just in the NFL, but in college football as well. But I'm curious, who do you think is the biggest pretender? Is there any team that is a bigger poser than the Chargers? And I can't believe that smart people, intelligent people like Mike T are falling for it. 888-760-3776. Hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline. We got Jonathan Zaslow coming soon. He's going to be right there on the other side as we talk a little college football as well. But I want to hear from you. 888-760-3776. The Baptist Health Hotline. Are you experiencing foot and ankle pain and need to see an expert in the field? Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has a team of foot and ankle orthopedic surgeons and specialists who are regarded as leaders in their specialty. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to learn more today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatment and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. The Chargers, pretenders. That's not a knock. It's the truth. They are not competitive against the elite teams. We saw the Ravens mollywop them. We saw the Buccaneers get to them. We even saw the Chiefs beat them twice. No one is concerned with the Chargers at the top of the AFC, not this year, maybe going forward. In the YouTube chat, Prize Picks presented YouTube chat, Devontae, he says the Chargers offense declined from last year in his opinion, no matter what the record is. Well, yeah, of course. Like when Quentin Johnston is forced to be your wide receiver 1 or 2, you're in a bad place. When a rookie in Ladd McConkey who's learning the game has to be the most reliable weapon for Justin Herbert, that is a disadvantageous situation to be in. You lost Keenan Allen. You lost Mike Williams. You lost Austin Eckler. I believe Gerald Everett, the tight end, I think they lost him last year at that point anyways. This is not the same Chargers roster. It's a new-look squad. And I will say that as a Chiefs fan, though, as much as I'm not worried about the Chargers this year, Damian, 2 years from now, I might be shaking in my boots.
That's kind of what I was thinking over here. I know you mentioned that there are people saying that the Chargers are the team that the top dogs do not want to see in the playoffs, but I'm kind of thinking if you're the Chiefs, if you're the Bills, do you want the Chargers in the first round?
I would love it.
That's kind of where I'm at as well. And
now,
it really comes down to the defense.
I'll say this because the defense can be had.
Yep.
I mean, Bo Nix threw for 230 yards on them, and he had the second lowest air yards per attempt this season for a quarterback. And if you don't know what air yards per attempt is, he had 3.3 air yards per attempt. That means that when you throw the ball, the air yards are how long it actually lasts in the air before
how long it travels.
Caught. How long it travels in the air before it's caught. So if you're throwing a bunch of bubble screens and stuff around the line of scrimmage, your air yards will be low. If you're throwing deep balls and testing the defense for real, your air yards are obviously going to be higher. Bo Nix averaged 3.3 air yards per attempt last night, the second lowest in this year, in this campaign. And he still put up 27 points and had you on the ropes and had you down 11 multiple times. That Chargers defense is the Chargers D is bad. The Chargers team is mediocre. They are not a threat this year. They will be in coming years. Pump the brakes, Mike T. Pump the brakes, Chargers bandwagoners. It's not your time yet. It just isn't. Jonathan Zaslow going to join us here on the other side on Theoretically Speaking. It has been a crazy, electric week here at ESPN 106.3, man. First off, Damian, why the hell you got C-Cat's name under you on the YouTube stream? This is you, man.
I know, right? I should change that.
Change that. Damn right, change that. Make sure you get that changed in the break. If C-Cat wants to abandon our show to go and watch Penn State football, I ain't got no time for that. I ain't got no time. I want Damian Perez's name on the damn YouTube stream when he's filling in for C-Cat.
It shows where his priorities are, right?
Right.
Incredible.
Look at me. I'm C-Cat. I went to Penn State. My team's in the 12-team playoff. I wish Miami was in the playoffs.
Do you, though? Do you really wish they were?
I wish that if Miami had handled their business, I wish Miami would be in the playoffs as an undefeated ACC champion. You're right. Once I saw them lose